Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm back today with Jim Girouard, and I'm really excited to bring him on. He's been around all kinds of things in his reality. He's an artist, he's a poet, and he's a painter. I mean, oh my gosh, he's done fabulous. All the work behind him, that's his work. And Jim, would you like to add anything else to that?
Well, I just wanted to say, getting to meet you like in the beginning started with the interview with Typical Skeptic. And then I found out who you were. We talked on video chat. And I was at the end of a painting in the beginnings of another one. So then I suggested or asked you, would it be okay if I did another painting and illustrated your story? And you agreed to that. And then I wrote to you and said, do you have any ideas for an image? And you wrote back and said, Tree of Knowledge.
Yep.
Okay, so that was the first thing I put in. And then I watched some more videos. And then there was the story of Anubis. And then the story of the woman up in the sky with the two babies and the three sons.
Yep.
And then there was the interview with Chris Ananta. We were talking about King Arthur. So I thought that would be a perfect image to put up on the top coming out of the portal. To put King Arthur up there would be really great, And then a lot of the other images that are in the painting, maybe today we can talk about what they mean.
Yes, and I actually have the painting. Jim sent it to me, so I put it on here, and then I'm going to show this most beautiful painting. Oh my gosh, let me turn this thing off for a second. Let me go over here, and I'm going to screen share with you. And let me hit this. I'm going to hit start screen sharing. Let me know for screen sharing. We should be screen sharing. Do you see the painting?
Yeah, now it's coming up.
Okay, so there's this, oh my gosh, all this effort and work into this beautiful painting. I am just thrilled. It's eye-popping, it's catchy, it's gorgeous. It catches so much of the stuff that I talk about. I mean, I am just amazed. And the butterflies, don't think that because it's a monarch butterfly that it's evil. That has to do with me going to the butterfly house in France.
Yeah, so down on the bottom is the Eye of the Witch.
I'm gonna make it larger. Let me make it larger, and I'm gonna pull it up because there's so much in here. I mean, this is just fabulous. Let's see if I got that all the way up. There's the Eye of the Witch.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
which is in one of your videos. It's a large stone structure that you talk about the significance of that one. And then there's the Tree of Knowledge with the fire.
Yep, right here.
Inside the tree because of what you were talking about in one of your videos.
Yes, the Samvartica fires, where the energy is rising and catching the trees on fire on the inside, coming up through their root structure.
Yeah, I wanted to put that in there.
That is so awesome because this is happening in our reality right now all over the entire snow globe. And it's being negated like, oh, well, it's just a fire. Trees do not burn on the inside. And to chop down trees to, stop the fire because the outside looks perfectly fine while the tree is burning on the inside. And this is happening all over our snow globe. And, Jim, that was just awesome for you to put that in there and document that. I look at this as a huge collage documentation.
Yeah, I wanted you to be able to sort of expand your story with an illustration because, like in your videos, you take out a piece of paper with a magic marker and you draw illustrations.
Yes, I do.
And the illustrations help you to understand the story.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to do was do exactly the same thing, but do it with a canvas and a brush and paint and colors and sort of animate it and just sort of bring it into life with color.
Yes, it's just, I can't stop looking at it. It's absolutely beautiful. And this one right here, oh my gosh, this is my favorite piece right here.
The garden with the flowers and the mushroom and the
Hmm.
butterfly.
Absolutely gorgeous. I'm looking at that going, I could have a picture with that alone. It's just absolutely phenomenal. It's just gorgeous to me. So let me go up a little bit. Let me go this way. And we'll just start right here. And I noticed you had a ruin in here in R. Is that for traveling? A ruin for
No, no,
traveling journey?
it's a runic symbol that symbolizes divination and communication.
Awesome. Awesome. And then I see that right here, when I was a child and I was living in Okinawa, I saw this woman with two babies up in the sky in a cloud. And that you put that in there, it was a significant moment in my reality. I was only 6 or 7 years old. I can't remember exactly how old I was. And it just changed the trajectory of my entire life and how I look at things. And here's the thing, after seeing this, it didn't make me any more or less religious, because at the time we didn't have, my parents didn't do religion, really, we didn't. And so when I finally discovered what this was the Virgin Mary. But it was years and years later when I realized what it was. I mean, the impact it made on me is, when I saw the two babies, it was to me saying that, one, it was the second coming, but the second coming isn't an actual individual, but every one of us is the second coming. That every one of us has this possibility to become the Christ consciousness. This was signifying that we all have this inside of us, to have this Christ consciousness. And that's how it impacted me when I saw that years later, and I couldn't figure out what it was all about until I had gotten much older. And then the answers started coming in, and thank you for putting this in. This is very relevant, very relevant.
Yeah, so what I did was I went back and watched the video and found out that she had a blue dress and a yellow halo.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
I wanted it to be correct in every way.
Yes, and you even got the arms right, because they were actually held like that, and it's like today you could never hold babies like that. So it was like a still image in the sky in a cloud, a projected still image. And you nailed that. That looks awesome. And I love this one right here. The north, south, east, and west with the pendulum. That is so awesome, because I'm always talking about this entire reality and what is north, what is south, what is east, what is west. So I really love that. And the pendulum of, you know, that's always to do with divination.
Yeah, let me talk about that blue star a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, the blue star sort of represents the blue Kachina prophecy.
Cool. Cool.
And then coming down from the blue star is a string holding a crystal pendulum,
Mm-hmm.
which is a symbol of divination.
Awesome. Awesome. And I absolutely love how the entire thing is actually drawn inside of a pyramid shape. That was just so cool. There's so much going on in here. But yes, this blue star, it plays such a pivotal role in our reality, because everything is about the pointed stars and what have you. It's just awesome. I love how you put butterflies everywhere, Jim. I love the butterflies. You know what butterflies represent to me? They represent to me metamorphosis, because they start off as one being and end up as a second whole different kind of being. It's like they're reabsorbed in their what do you call that? A catacomb or catacomb? What do you call that? Catalyst?
Uh, Cocoon.
A cocoon. and then they're completely put back to liquid, and then a new whole different form comes. And when they have their second form, they have cones and rods in their wings that can make them a toroidal field that makes them weightless. I mean, all these insects are awesome, but the butterfly is my favorite because it shows such a metamorphosis. And I always relate butterflies with the human species, our ascension that we're going through now, as we're cocooning and changing on the inside first to become the energy light beings that we are going to end up looking like and being, and with all of our open set abilities. This is why I love butterfly symbology. And if anybody says that butterflies are for the negative, it's a twist, because they don't want you to know it's always, it doesn't matter what the species is, it's always for the positive. So let's move over here to this. I thought this was awesome with the dominoes and that the three, but I'm going to let you explain that, and then I'm going to tell you what I think about it.
Okay. Just above the dominoes is the key going into the keyhole inside the ear.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know, that's kind of self-explanatory, but what it means is through the sense of hearing, we're getting the story, and then we get the understanding. And then the lightning bolt hitting the dominoes is the domino effect that happens after you hear the message.
Oh, cool. Absolutely wonderful. And then, of course, going along in your journey as time progresses. So I noticed that you used 3 dots for the number 3 domino. And the first thing that came to me was like, oh my gosh, the Trinity. 3, your brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain, signifying the Trinity of who we are, and that the dominoes effect is that over time we're going to be falling into line to the position or ascension that we're going into. That's what I keep getting out of it. Along the journey, we change and become this.
Right.
And the key, of course, unlock your thinking, unlock your hearing, because a lot of people don't actually listen. They don't. You can talk to somebody and they're so deep into their own thinking, they didn't hear a word you said. So this is very important when people have to learn how to actually listen to things that are coming at them, instead of, slow your mind down and just listen to what's being said, because so many of us don't hear anything. We really don't.
Yeah, that's right.
So I thought that was cool. And let's go to this. The upside down moon. The Cheshire Cat moon.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was originally going to put a Cheshire Cat in there, but I couldn't find any good images, so I just put the crescent moon along with the sun.
That is so awesome. That is so relevant in where we are right now in our quadrant 4 with our upside down moon. So throughout time, what it looks like is it goes from waxing and waning left to right until it turns all the way upside down. Now that's never been a part of our reality, Jim. I've never in my life until 2017 have ever seen an upside down moon. And I'm pushing 60, and you're older than I am. Have you ever seen an upside down moon?
Thinking back on it, no, I've never seen one.
No, we're both old enough to know that this doesn't really fit in our paradigm of our reality, but look at the reality we're in now, where all kinds of things are a part of our reality that we never had double rainbows. We never had 2 skies where the clouds are really low and the clouds are really high. Not like that. We never had the Cheshire Cat moon. I mean, when we think about it, Ellis Island, Liberty Island, the Statue of Liberty used to be on Ellis Island as far as I can remember when I went to go visit it. And now it's on Liberty Island, and it's like, whoa. So this little tiny thing is so significant. Now, I do see that in some of the hieroglyphs, they do have this upside down moon, and that would date where we are in this quadrant 4, which is interesting, but that's a whole nother topic. And then, of course, we have the pyramid here. Would you like to say anything about the pyramid? And let me bring this down just, oops, let me make that bigger for a second. Make that just a little bigger. Bring this down just a little bit, where we have the pyramid and the Vimana.
I think I'll let you talk about that one.
Okay, so the pyramid, I did a video where I talk about there's a capstone missing off the pyramid. So it's like this part of it is missing. And there is a place in Mecca where they have the big box, and people go around it all the way, you know, the Kaaba. So this is in the Kaaba. This is a Vimana. This is old technology from about 8,000 years ago, because in our reality, we were a very high technical society. And we've actually digressed to be caveman. But this is what it started off at in our entire schematic of reality. And so this was hidden inside of that box in Mecca, the Kaaba. So, and it's on a different frequency. It's actually on a little bit higher frequency. And when the right person comes along, you know, in Mecca, they have this cube, and people are walking around it. I think it's counterclockwise. And there's hundreds of people always walking around this cube. And what the cube is doing is, parts of the cube is a part of this mechanism, and it's checking for a DNA match. When the right person comes along, which will be a woman, and I just discovered not that long ago, it's going to end up being a incarnated Thoth. Have you ever, well, of course, Thoth with the emerald green tablets is going to end up incarnating into a female body. And when this happens, this person will end up coming into where Mecca is, and this Vimana will hit the frequency of that person, or the DNA match, and a beam will come out of it. And this person that's going to be coming in, this woman, it's going to change her frequency, and everyone's going to disappear around the cube, and she'll be able to walk into the Vimana. And when she walks into the Vimana, she'll already be presented with a key that's going to turn that thing on. She'll go and put the Vimana on the top of the Giza pyramid. And when she puts it on top of the Giza pyramid, it's going to activate a Merkaba body that is on the same frequency as this, or density, around the entire pyramid, because there's a lot of the pyramid that we don't know about under the ground also. So it makes a Merkaba body, and that will activate it to open up a part of the dome, which will be shooting a beam up to the top into the North Pole star, and then over to Venus. And that is a mechanism, but that's not going to happen until we end the 12 cycles. So we have these cycles going on in our reality, where in 2017, we began our first 7-year cycle. So it's 7 years times 12, where we're changing and we're ascending, and inside of our bodies, they've already changed. They're like, our kidneys are up in our rib cage where they used to be down in our lower back, and our spleen is like twice the size. Our liver has 3 times the size. Our pineal gland and pituitary gland have doubled in size. We're going to be creating another gland behind those 2 glands, which is going to connect your trinity, your brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain. Meanwhile, your chakras are going to be coming down because it's a straitjacket, and we are going into an ascension. So on my Patreon, I found a video that actually backs up that they're looking now at human beings, and they're finding when they use a certain kind of photography that our bones are starting to glow and our organs are starting to glow, which means we're starting to become those light beings today. So this, when that ascension is final, and everyone has hit that last ascension point, this person will come in here, set this on here, and this place will be now open to go out into the bigger reality, which is waiting for us outside of this Dyson sphere. So everyone's talking about flat Earth, or is it a round Earth? Well, it's in a round Dyson sphere with a flat plane in the middle of the Dyson sphere. So it's very interesting. So, okay, I've digressed. Let's go to my favorite piece right here too, and that's the man in the armor.
I was just going to say that King Arthur is my favorite also.
Oh, then that we're joined in that. My
Yeah,
favorite too.
the interview with Chris Ananta.
Oh yes, yes. I enjoy talking to Chris Sinatra, quantum businessman. I really like his character. He's very genuine. In this reality, it's hard to find truly genuine people. You know this. And he's one of them. And we all add pieces to our puzzle. You know, there's no such thing as anyone is 100% correct on anything. So I love all the different avenues everyone goes down. I appreciate it because that means you're thinking out of the box and new possibilities being created in this reality.
I hope he gets to see this video.
Oh, me too. Let me see if I can I move this? Probably not. I'm going to X you out for a second so we can see the rest of this beautiful. I'm going to pull this down. Yes, Chris will probably see this, hopefully. So let's go to Anubis, another character in my reality that showed itself to me.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about that one too.
Okay, so basically I was sitting outside one day at my brother's house because I was house sitting for him because he was in Taiwan. Plus I was also going through my divorce. And I was sitting on a just a chair, and I looked up, and it was blue skies, nothing. And then I looked up again, yeah, like a minute or so, and all of a sudden I saw this figurehead of Anubis, and it's like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? And it was so distinctive looking, it was undeniable. And too bad I didn't have my phone on me, or I would have snapped a shot. And then I'm like, that's Anubis. You're Anubis. And as soon as I acknowledged that you are Anubis, it turned and looked at me. And it put me back in my chair because I was like, whoa. And then at that point, I ended up having mad downloads about we are in the time of weighing and measuring. That's what this 7-year ascension is also about, the time of weighing and measuring. Is your heart as light as a feather, or is your heart heavier than a feather? And all of it is weighed and measured with a frequency. So if you stay out of fear, if you stay out of the whole bag that fear is attached to, which is hate, envy, jealousy, all of the rest, your heart will be as light as a feather, because then your frequency will be able to rise to meet the ascension, to go, where we haven't been in a long time. So basically everything is done on frequency. This is the stuff that was downloaded to me. And right now we are in that weighing and measuring, and I want everyone to get through this, but of course we're all not going to make this. But the beauty of all of it is that just because you don't make it this time doesn't mean that you can't come back and make it next time. There's the promise. So, and then let's talk about this phoenix. I love the phoenix.
Okay, the Phoenix bird, along with the 2040 at the bottom, is a cryptic message.
Oh, at the bottom of this?
Yeah, at the bottom it says 2040.
Oh, yes. I saw that under your name. There it is. There. I was going to ask you, what's the 2040, Jim?
The
That's right.
year
I had forgotten all about that.
2040 is the year of the Phoenix, the 138-year cycle of the Phoenix phenomena that's talked about by archaics,
Mm-hmm.
Jason Preshears.
Now, let me tell you something about that. Um, this phoenix is a symbol that this character is very important, and it has to do with this phoenix. If you can raise your frequency and get out of all of the bag of fear, hate, jealousy, envy, and all of this, that timeline will not be your timeline. This is the split in humanity through frequency if you make it up and out of here. So this is why if you can become the feather, become the lighter, brighter you, put down the fear and everything that goes with it, that timeline will never be your timeline. Matter of fact, the next thing you know, everything starts getting better for you. The nature starts getting better, the air starts getting better, the chemtrailing stops, the geoengineering. Nature starts getting a bigger foothold into this reality because we'll be going up to the higher density, because this place is divided with 12 densities in one frequency. So the frequency is 3D with 12 densities. Now this Anubis is showing everyone that become higher, brighter you, and your reality will be the time split, which is on the positive side, not the negative side. There's that. So not everyone will experience, I'm just going to make sure that's all the way down, that lower timeline split. So that's something to look forward to. Now there's the green sun, the white sun, and the black sun, and you absolutely put in the 3 suns. Absolutely wonderful. Do you want to say anything about the suns, or should I?
I'll leave that one up to you again.
Okay, so basically right now in quadrant 4, we have the black sun. This is the sun that we are experiencing, and the reason we are experiencing it is that it's helping level up these bodies that are going for ascension. So basically our snow globe is divided into 4 quadrants, and we are in the 4th quadrant. The 3 regular suns in quadrant 1, 2, and 3 are the suns that we're used to having, okay? This green sun actually is in Hyperborea. Hyperborea lies in the middle of the 4 quadrants. This is why no one can actually find Hyperborea. It isn't in just where they say it is, inside of a single quadrant. It's actually in the middle of the 4 quadrants. And the 4 quadrants look like duplicates pretty much of each other. So in quadrant 1, we have North America, South America, Asia, Australia, all of that, your oceans. In quadrant 2, we have the same thing. In quadrant 3, we have the same thing. And in quadrant 4, we have the same thing. The only thing that's different are the suns. So in the morning, with the 4 quadrants, since we're in quadrant 4, and it doesn't have one of these yellow suns, it only has a black sun, which we barely can conceive of because we don't quite see there. We see in the morning for 1 hour, quadrant 3's yellow sun. That's why in the morning it's a very yellow, soft heat sun. And in the evening, we have quadrant 1 sun, which is much smaller than our morning sun, and is still a very beautiful, glowing, soft, not intense heat sun. The suns that we see that are supposed to be this are white, and those white suns are sun simulators that have been put up so that no one knows that we're in quadrant 4 with the black sun, because they got to keep the status quo going. And those sun simulators are so hot that they burn. They burn the vegetation. When they first started introducing those suns back in 2017, they were burning everything, burning the poor cattle, burning the animals, burning the trees, the vegetation, and then they had to keep tweaking them so they're not This is why you can go out in the middle of winter and the sun is supposed to be so far away from you, and yet it's burning you like it's the middle of summer. Yeah,
Right,
those are sun simulators.
Okay, so the other day I was outside the supermarket and I saw this guy taking a photo of his bike. And then I realized he's the guy who fixes my bike. And then the sun came out and we were talking about the sun. And I said to him, do you think that's the real sun or do you think it's artificial? And he started talking about the Dyson sphere.
Oh my gosh!
Okay, so then I said to him, I did a painting for someone that I know that talks about the Dyson sphere in her videos. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So guess what the name of his business is?
Oh, I have no idea. What is it?
Funky Phoenix.
Oh my God. That's funny. That's funny. Well, he's awake. He's absolutely awake.
Yeah, so, the dots kind of connect in a sort of unusual, spontaneous kind of way.
Yes, they do. We're all finding each other. And here's the thing, I'm always telling everybody, just drop a couple little hints here and there and see if anybody is familiar with anything. And that's, I guess, him dropping a hint. Yeah, I think we live in a Dyson sphere. Like, you would not know what that even means unless you know a little something about something.
Right. So I think what's happened here is that you sort of got to see the evolution of an idea or a concept that started out as a drawing on a canvas and then
Mhm.
getting filled in with paint. And then, 3 or 4 months later, you see the end result, which is this painting that we're showing right now.
Just gorgeous. And Jim does all of this with model paint. So that's really something because model paint's not the easiest to work with, but wow, look at the vivid colors. Definitely the vivid colors. And here's the Eye of Horus. And I had just discovered that I was looking into the tablets of Thoth, the emerald tablets of Thoth, and realized that there was somebody before Thoth who was called the Master, and his name was Horlet or something, Horlet and Horus. They're just really close, and that was an ascended being that had come down into the 3D reality and wanted to have an experience, but that's a whole nother story. So there's that. And this is also your third eye connection. So did you want to say anything about that eye?
No, not really.
Okay.
That's
I
why,
wanted
that's
to
why
just,
I wanted to do this interview so that you could explain your story with the painting.
yes, this is absolutely wonderful. I love that you put leaves in it, and I'll tell you the significance of leaves. I found out, oh, this has been a while though, that leaves, all trees carry densities and frequencies inside of them. They're like telephone poles to the densities. And that at one time in our reality, we had those huge monster trees, which are now chopped off and they look like mountains, right? So those trees, depending on how hard the tree is, depending on, see how you have the spikes. This is great that I have a tree leaf thing. This would carry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frequencies. So if you could tap into the tree sap and have a way to tap like the Bigfoot do, they bite into the tree limbs, they could match that density in those frequencies and disappear in front of you. So these trees and the leaves will show you how many frequencies that they carry within them, within their saps, and you could use them, the trees, as a portal to portal you from point A to point B in frequencies. So 3D, 5D, 6D. Now 4D is not an actual place, it's a bridge to get you to 5D and 6D. But isn't it interesting that depending on the shape of the leaf, the points will tell you exactly how many frequencies that they hold within them that you could use as a portal. So like a beech tree is only a single leaf. It doesn't have anything but one point. So it will only get you in here in 3D where we are, uh, just in different realms. Where some of these hardwood trees, they have up to 7 points, could get you into 7 different frequencies. And I don't know if most people realize that because this is old earthen technology. One of the reasons they chopped down all of our big trees in this place was it cut us off of getting to the higher frequencies because they could be used as portals. That was one of the reasons. And they also used the sap because you could use the sap to, because it carries the frequencies, you could use the sap as like an ambrosia to get to different places that you could take in internally. So they destroyed all of the trees in our reality, the big ones. One, to cut us off, and two, to just exploit the tree saps.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I put the pumpkin in there to symbolize October and Halloween because part of doing the painting happened during that month.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, I had done a video right around there too, And it was because of, I'm not political as far as anything like that, but I thought it was funny that Halloween always falls on the 31st of October, yet our elections, which are not elections, they're just an appointment that we have no say about really, follows 5 or 6 days later, depending on where it falls on the calendar year. And the real Halloween is actually falling on the elections because it's a hollow win to make humanity think they had a choice when they never did. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That is the real Samhain. It's on the election day. That's the real Halloween Samhain. We're given October 31st, but it's not really. It's on election day because of the takedown of our human beings in this reality.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a coincidence.
No, not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. So I'm just absolutely look at this again because this is so gorgeous. This is beautiful. Beautiful. And I'll bring Jim back here as soon as I can. Let me minimize this. Go back to Jim. Jim, you're back.
Yeah.
What a beautiful, beautiful painting.
Oh, it was a real honor for me to do that for you.
Oh, well, it was an absolute honor that you would even want to do that for me because I've never had anyone say, hey, I want to do some artwork for you. And Jim is just awesome. He's been working on this a very long time. He is a perfectionist because he kept going back and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. I mean, look at that beautiful artwork behind you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I started doing heavy detail when I was 5 years old.
Wow. Jim, would you like to say anything about, would you ever do any artwork? You know, if somebody was going to pay you to do something, where could they find you and how could they get a hold of you?
They can find me on Facebook. Um, I usually don't take requests for artwork very often because I have my own ideas.
Oh.
And it's really not possible for me to illustrate somebody else's idea. So in this case, it was my idea to do a painting for you because I have my own ideas.
And they're awesome.
The, the timing was impeccable because just when I found out about you, I had just finished a painting and was going to start another one.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and the idea I had for my painting was the portal on top and the blue star and the crystal pendulum, and that was basically it.
Wow. But that's a start. And then all the rest probably came from my videos.
Yeah, the fact that you appreciate it means everything to me.
Oh, I do. I do. I can't stop looking at it. I keep looking at it every day. It's like, oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about visual perception for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so when we're talking back and forth, a lot of times it can take several sentences or hundreds of words before you get the visual image in your mind. So that's why you hear people say, oh, I see. But it takes a lot of words for them to get that visual image.
Yeah. Yeah.
That,
I absolutely love anything to do with pictures. You know, our minds are designed not really for words, but for pictures.
yes. That's why I stopped writing books.
Oh. Well, I know you sent me one of your books you wrote, and I was reading that. That was very interesting.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like when I do interviews, it's the same thing on a vocal level. I have to explain it over and over and over again until they get the visual image. But when you do a painting, you get the visual image immediately.
Yes, absolutely. And we're actually designed to understand images. I mean, that's a big one. Like you can show somebody a picture and everyone will see different things in the picture that resonated with them. So you can get like 100 people, have a big picture, everyone stand in front of it, and everyone will talk about a different part of that picture.
Yes. If you think about dreams,
Yes,
they're visual,
they're all visual.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Visions,
Mm-hmm. All
vis-
visual.
visual.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I've had a few visions in my life. I mean, full-on visions. While I'm wide awake, it'll just go like around me, like 360, and I'm looking around going, oh my gosh, where am I?
Yeah. Get the picture?
Yes, get the picture.
Yeah. That's why we say that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you have to get the picture in your mind.
Yep.
And it's difficult to give someone that visual picture in their mind by using words and sentences.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Um, I guess we won't say too much more. Jim, I cannot begin to thank you enough for that beautiful, beautiful painting that you put hours and hours and hours and months and months and months on. Jim really put a lot of time and effort into this most beautiful painting.
This is probably the happiest day of my life.
Oh, well, I can tell you what, you should be very pleased. It turned out fabulous, wonderful. And Jim has actually offered to give me the painting and the rights to it, and I was just stunned after all of that work.
Yeah, it's your story.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Maybe that's why there's just something about you that is unique. Here's the thing. It's really hard to find true, genuine people with a big heart, genuine people, and you're one of them. And you've been around for a while, and I'm sure everyone that's come into your presence is like, wow, are you for real? Yeah, because that's how corrupt our world became. But we're going to become the better, brighter beings. All of us, we're going to end up like Jim.
Yeah, a big part of the reason why I want to do this for you is because you're genuine and you're sincere.
Yeah. And we all need to be this way. We're all going to be this way. By the time this ascension is over, we'll all be Sonias and Jims.
When you're genuine and sincere, you're believable.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, we've got new glands in our throat from this ascension. And with these new glands, and our ears have changed inside, and no one's even aware that we have glands in our throat and our ears have changed inside, we'll be able to hear truth frequency. You'll hear it. But then you'll also be able to hear and see through the lies also.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is if you're believable and sincere, and if you're likable, you can tell them anything, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll absorb it, and they'll like your story because they like you.
You
You
know,
know what
I've
I
had,
mean?
yeah, I've also got other people in my reality that tell me things, and I'm the kind of person that's like, please just be honest with me. What, because I'll always take myself out of it like a third person, even if it's harsh to hear, because I want the truth. No matter what it is, I just want the truth. Let me deal with how the truth affects me, but please just be honest. I need to have that honesty,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You can tell those sort of things just by the feeling you get when you're around somebody. You can sense what's in their auric field.
Yeah, absolutely. And since there's no such thing as time or space, even though you're in Massachusetts and I'm in Maryland, we might as well be sitting next to each other. hmm Yes,
That
just in
that would be
Massachusetts.
nice.
I'm in Maryland.
Yeah. Well, at least we have the internet. We can communicate that way.
Yes, that's, here's the thing. I have a big problem with cyber world because it's a yin and yang. I wish it was all positive, but we know we always have to deal with the negative. But here's the thing. We get the positive side of it too. So we can take those skills, those internets, and turn it to the positive. You know,
I just hope that your story and along with the painting inspires a lot of people, especially new people, to find out your message.
yes, absolutely. And I'm going to be finding a way to try to post that beautiful picture on my YouTube channel, my Patreon, because I have a Patreon, and Odyssey, because I do have an Odyssey channel too, because YouTube was taking all my videos down. So I was talking to Campbell Purvis on Autodidactic, and he's like, Sonia, you need to get an Odyssey to transfer everything over. So that's why I got an Odyssey, because of him. So definitely. And I guess that's all we'll talk about today. Jim, I thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your time, effort, and it came out so beautiful, that painting. Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yeah, this was a really good idea for an interview.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So thank you, Jim. And don't hang up, but I'm going to say goodbye to the audience because I still want to talk to you. Okay.
Okay,
All right, then. Everybody have a great rest of your day and week.